If you have seen the beginning of this video, or on my Instagram and Facebook, I'm going to be doing my zombie bite. So, the things that you're going to need for this video is going to be liquid latex, blood obviously, you're going to need tweezers, ow, and if your tweezers are sharp, there's stuff on my tweezers, I'm sorry. If your tweezers are sharp, then you can use those, or if you're like me, that's not sharp enough, you're going to use a safety pin to cut the hole into the thing. You're just going to use the tweezers to spread out the holes of the zombie bite. You're going to need dark blood for the darker, for like the inside of the, yeah. You're going to need liquid foundation. This is not even my color, so don't judge me. Got it at the dollar store. You're going to need wipes, so you can wipe the area that you're going to be putting it on. You're going to need your bruising sponge, and if you have seen my first video, this is my bruising sponge that I used in my first video, and I kept calling it a brush. You're going to need a sponge for your makeup, and then a separate sponge for, well, I have like 3 separate sponges because I just took them off. This sponge is pretty old, so I'm probably going to be using either this one or a new one. I wouldn't suggest using a new one, but this one I'm going to be using for the liquid latex that I have already poured into a plate. So what you're going to do is you're just going to grab your liquid latex, pour it in a plate, and then afterwards what you're going to need is tissue. Okay, most of you probably have 2-ply. We're going to need like 1-ply, so yeah. Okay, and then you're going to need a setting foundation. Yeah. Then you're going to need, for me, since my foundation is not my color, I'm going to need to make it my color. So I'm going to be using eyeshadows, and I've had this eyeshadow palette for like a long time. Go away. Okay, and then if you saw my first video, I had this, my watercolors, because I'm madly in love with them. And then my eyeshadows are these, and you're going to use that, and so, yeah. What? Sorry, that's my mom. And that's basically all you're going to need for this video, plus a eyeliner. You can use any color, you can use an eyeliner, you can use a watercolor, you can use foundation, you can use anything. But what this is going to do is you're going to make the marks for the teeth. And the reason you're going to need this marking is because when we are going to cut up the tissue paper, when we cut it up, we have to cut up in a U shape, and it has to fit. The U shape has to fit with where the teeth marks are going to be, so you can cut it open. You're not going to be able to see the marks after you have placed the tissue, but it'll be helpful for you to at least do it. It's just like a little setting guideline. That was annoying me. Stop! Okay, so, I guess that's pretty much it. So all we're going to do, I'm going to be doing it on, I'm debating whether I should do it on my arm, my hand. I think I'm going to be doing it on my hand, because it's just my hand. So, you already have your liquid latex, you're going to set that to the side. What you're going to do is, my hand isn't clean, so that would be a good idea to clean it, so that the dirt and the nastiness on your hand that you've had either during the day or if you just wash your hands, then yeah, that's a good idea too. But I'm stupid, and I'd rather just clean it right before I do it and then clean it after I do it. So, yeah. Cleaning. Okay. I'm going to keep this there because I'm going to need it for when I do the bruising. Okay. My hand's wet now. Okay. So, all you're going to do is just start drawing out where you want the teeth to be. That's one of the front teeth. This is probably going to be off a bit, but at least I know where it's going to be. And like, I'm not the perfect artist, so yeah. If mine comes out a little weird, it's because it's a little wonky. So, after doing all that, this is an old brush. I'm gonna keep calling them brushes. This is an old sponge, and what you're gonna do is you're going to just dab it in liquid latex. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna just dab it on. And make sure it is a thin layer of latex so it dries quickly. And what this is going to do is it's so that if you're going to have it stay on for a couple more hours like I plan to, because I'm going to be doing this on my Halloween day. So what you're going to do is when you do that, it's going to stick better to the hairs on your skin. So when you take it off, it may hurt a bit, but all you would need to do is just put like a bunch of soap on it and rub it for a while before you take it off. So it takes off all the makeup and all the excess latex for a little bit, and then run it under warm water, and you should be fine. Unless you're stupid like me and decide, I'm just going to rip it off. It'll be fine. Yeah, don't do that. I ripped off hair. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is, since I have two ply toilet paper, you can use toilet paper, you can use tissue paper, you can use any kind of paper. Whatever floats your boat, people. Okay? Now, if you see, mine is kind of dry. It's more than likely dried by now. So what you're going to do is you're just going to cut your tissue into a U shape. You don't have to use scissors for this. I would rather you not, because it gives it a better way of you getting more of the, it blends better into your skin if you just tear it off instead of like cutting it. And this is a better way instead of using rigid collodion if you don't have it, because then you're just, I don't know, yeah. That is a horrible U, but you get the idea. And then you're just going to check to make sure it fits on it. Mine fits. Weirdly it fits, but you get the idea. So now that you have this, you're going to need to cut at least two of them. If you're like me that wants it deeper, you can cut a third one, but I'm going to cut my second one like now, because yeah. And basically what we're going to be doing is, after we do this, we're just going to apply more latex. And after applying that layer of latex, we're going to put this on top of it. And then afterwards, we're just going to wait. I'm just kidding, no. We're going to apply it, and then after applying it, you're going to, since the top part of the tissue is going to be damp from the latex underneath, you're still going to apply another thin layer of latex. So when it dries kind of like plastic. Get me? Get. Okay. And there's my second U. Looks all retarded. Does it fit? And it fits. Okay. Now, it's better to show you than just explain it. So, what you're going to do is you're going to grab the first one, which is a little wonky looking. So, what you're going to do, apply. Yes, it's dripping down my hand. Don't judge me. You can't do gory makeup without getting a little messy. Come on, people. Okay. Here's the thin layer. See, the thin layer. Now what you're going to do is you're going to apply it where it fits best. So for mine, it fits best right there. Then you're going to pat it down so it sticks to your skin. And so you're just going to wave it until it's not tacky underneath. So when you're taking off the excess tissue, it doesn't come off. So like, since we applied such a small layer, what we're going to do is we can start pulling immediately. Whew. Okay, so after you have torn off the excess, what you're going to do is now you're going to grab more latex, you're going to dab it in latex again. And it's okay if it looks a little like, how to say, wrinkled or rippled or anything like that. It's okay that it looks like that because, come on, a bite never looks clean when you're going through flesh. So it's not going to go perfectly okay. So you're just going to do that. And then after you do that, to speed up the process, you can use a blow dryer. Don't use the hot setting, use the cold setting. So after using the cold setting, it should dry very quickly. And that's what I'm about to do right now, so be right back. Okay, I'm back. I just finished blow drying it, and it comes out like that, so you can see through it a bit. But once you put the second one, you shouldn't be able to see it very well, especially because of the fact that you're going to be putting foundation and a lot of things on it. So after you blow dry it, or you air dry it, or anything you're doing, hold on. Okay, after you do all that, what you're going to do is now you're going to put more latex. Woo! Adventure! Okay, after you do that, what you're going to do is now you're going to place your second piece of toilet paper. Woo! Now, since it's such a small layer, like I said before, like if you air dry it like this is how I did it the first time. If you do it like this, what happens is you can feel the wetness. It will be cold on your hand or whatever area it is, and that's okay because that means it's drying. So what you're going to do is you're going to also pull off the excess. Okay. Now, there you go. And now you're going to put liquid latex again. Ew, have fun! Now, you don't want to, like, dab it and then smear it, because what it's going to do is it's going to tear the tissue paper, and that's something you don't want. You want it to dab it because it will, basically all it will do is it's putting it on the tissue paper and taking it directly off. So the toilet paper is sucking it up, and it starts to become like plastic. So I'm going to go air dry it real quick. We'll blow dry it real quick, and I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Be right back. Okay, I just went and blow dried it, and now it's white. Like how I told you in the beginning of the video that you're not going to be able to see the eyeliner, it is very difficult to see it through this, plus the fact that you're going to be using foundation and things on it, so it's going to be very difficult to see it. If you're like some people that I have seen do this, you'd like to cut it before, but I personally don't like that because when you're trying to apply paint inside the wounds, it doesn't stick as well as it should. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to paint it first, and then you're going to cut open the wounds. So you're going to take this, you're going to put it somewhere. Like me, I'm going to put the liquid latex that's on here back into the thing. So I will do that right after this video. So as you can see, that's how mine looks. And me not being very safe. You're going to take the safety pin or tweezers and just cut a hole into it. And after cutting that hole, it's a very small hole, and what you're going to do is you're going to take your tweezers and open the hole. And that's it. That's all you're going to do. For all the teeth, that's all you do, is just sit there and open the hole. Okay? Now that's all you're going to do for all the teeth, is just open the hole. Okay? So let me do the front ones. So I have to pierce it through, since it's pierced there. Take it back out. you see there's another hole. So you're going to just pull it. You're just basically going to manipulate the latex to do whatever you want it to. And yes, you're going to get air bubbles underneath, but that's okay because that gives it a rising effect. When you're going to be painting it, you're going to be painting it your foundation color. After doing that, what you're going to do is, after doing that, sorry, I'm getting a little lost. After doing that, when you fill it with blood, the blood might travel into the little pockets, and that's fine because it'll give it more of a gory effect after a while. So, yeah. So don't discourage yourself if you have pockets, because I have pockets too. So, there's my first tooth. The very front teeth right here. Ooh, that didn't sound fun. And then spread. Spread. It's very tricky, like your first couple of times, trying to open the hole. Like with me, sometimes I'm a little careless, and I just decide, hey, I'm just going to stick my finger inside the latex, and the hole inside the latex, and that's how I got this to kind of work when I first did it. Okay, there's the second tooth. Whee! No falling. Almost fell, guys. Wouldn't that be funny if I fell on camera? And then it's tricky to find the hole at first because you're just sitting there trying to like pick at just random stuff. So see, yeah, that's all you're gonna do. So you're just gonna pick at it till you get the hole that you want. This is the second tooth, so it's gonna look a little wonky because I can't really see, but. And if it comes out wonky like mine, it's okay. It's not perfect. Not all teeth are perfect, people. So then you're just gonna keep doing this process, and as you're going down, you're gonna get larger and larger holes. I'm going to finish this and then I'll come right back. So I'm back and I just finished all the teeth. If you can see where I did this, what I do for my teeth when they're bigger, because I don't want to make a giant gaping hole in my skin, I want to make it look like it's like stretching my skin. So what I did was I grabbed the side of the latex, and so say, okay, like this was the piece of the tissue that I grabbed, okay? So I grab the piece of the tissue, and since it's stretchy enough because of the latex, what I do is I stretch it, and then I pull it back, and it sticks to latex. Latex will stick to itself, which is really funny, but yes. So, now for painting. Yay! Now, I'm using LA Colors. It's a very cheap thing. I got it at the dollar store. And I'm using BPP 322 Tan. It was either I was going to use this one or I was going to use this very, 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 very old one. And it's CoverGirl in 510, I guess. Looks like that. And then, as you can tell, it's very white for my skin. When this one is just a little darker, so it kind of matches. So all you're going to do is you're just going to dab your sponge in it. And you're just going to go over it. I'm doing it the way that I don't like doing it usually. But I was going to be using my liquid foundation. But I thought about it and I was like, nah. I'm just going to use my powder. Because it's just a lot simpler. And then I'm going to be doing it darker later. So I'll be fine. So that's all you're doing. It's just getting your foundation on it. See? Okay. Now if you're like me and you're way darker than the foundation that you have, just after you're doing this, sorry, look like I licked myself. You're going to move it out of the way. Grab eyeshadows. And I'm not very crafty with eyeshadows, but I try my best. And as you can see, I've used a bunch of beiges and dark browns and a lot of colors. Because I'm cool. Anyways, I'm going to grab a beige. It's a very beige color. And I'm just going to be powdering the parts of my skin that need to be lighter. Then afterwards, I'm going to be putting brown. So near, it's a lot of powder. Near all of this, like all the bite marks and everything, it's going to be darker. Like you can't see it, but it's getting darker, as you see. And it's really not going to matter on how perfect your foundation or the color of your skin is, because it's going to be covered in blood and bruising, and yeah, it's just going to be covered in that. So it really doesn't matter how it looks, it just, yeah. So I'm going to color this with my palette, and I will be right back. Okay, now it's a little darker than what it was before, so now that you're going to be doing the bruising, you're going to grab your watercolors. Ugh. Watercolors. Okay, you're going to need a little bowl and your little thingy. Now what I'm doing is I'm putting my sponge inside the water, and I'm draining whatever excess it has. I should have done this before, but it would just be better just to show you guys what I'm doing. So what you're going to do is you're going to add it into the purple. You're going to add the water into the purple. Add the purple, the red, and the blue. Okay, you're going to drain the little excess. Okay, now what you're going to do is, since it is a zombie bite, it needs to be a lot of red. So you're just going to dab your little brush in it. It's going to turn dark red. And you're just going to do how in the bruising video is, you're just going to apply bruising. If you haven't seen my bruising video, go check that out before you watch this part. So I'm going to bruise it, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I have the basic bruising technique of how you do the basic bruises. Now, since it is going to be infectious, you're going to need a little bit of yellow and a very small amount of green. So what you're going to do is, I've already laid out some water droplets into my yellow and in my green. So what you're going to do is you're just going to dab it in. If you look, all you're going to do is just put it around the teeth marks. See, it's turning yellow? That's all you're going to do. You're going to put that around the teeth marks. There you go. And then you're going to drain that. And like, since my basic bruising technique, this is why in my tutorial that I did not like doing this, is because it actually causes, if you look at my thing, it has a little bit of flap falling off, and all you can do is just put some liquid latex underneath it and then reapply it, and it'll be fine. So then you're going to take your sponge, add a little bit of green. What you're going to do is you're going to lightly, very, very lightly add green. See, there's a little bit of green in there. Okay, and I'm just going to drop my sponge in there so it can soak up. And now I don't need this, but if you're running into the problem that I'm having about the little fluff, you could just grab a fingerful, pick up the flap, lay down a very small amount of latex, and then just press it down. You're just going to hold it down for a very small amount of time, and then after you're holding it down, just reapply the latex that is on your finger onto it. And if your latex is drying very quickly, then just apply more latex. So I'm going to fix this little flap, and I will be right back. So, after doing all that, I know I had this over there, I just came back. So you're going to finish with that. So afterwards, after you do all of that, if you're like me, I really like poster paint. So you're going to get a black and, where are you, red? And a red. This one's really old, so shouldn't be using this one, but it's okay. So you can be using these, or you can just use a watercolor. I prefer these because even though they may be very thick, they are very easy to use. So since this one's very old, it looks like more like a pinkish, and that's what I want personally out of my paint, so that's what I want. So first, I'm going to dab my paintbrush in the red, and inside the little cuts, you're just going to put red inside. And that's all you're going to do for every single one of them. You're just going to add a little bit of red. Red, red, red. Okay. And so all of them are applied with red. And then you're going to clean your brush. This is where this comes in handy because you can clean your brush and make sure that there's nothing in it. Now, that's going to be very wet for a little bit, just like a couple minutes. But as it's wet, grab the corner of your brush. The corner of my brush has black on it. If you don't believe me, watch, watch, watch. See, it has a little bit of black. So the very corner of your brush, you're going to grab black. What you're going to do for these, you're going to apply black to the side. So it gives it a little bit of depth. And then you're just going to put like a dot there, so it just makes it look a little deeper. So that's all you're going to do for the sides. And you're going to do it for every tooth. And it doesn't have to be, since this is going inwards, this side, it's going to have to go inwards, so it's just going to be reversed on the other side. So for the front teeth, just put it on the very tip, right there. And you're just going to repeat it all over your teeth marks. Okay. Now you can wash that. Now, yours should start looking like that. It doesn't look like teeth marks yet. I understand that. Sorry, I went off the frame. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take your tweezers again, and all you're going to do is you're going to pull up the latex. The reason you're going to do this is so that the walls of the teeth marks actually rise, and that's all you want, is for them to rise a little bit more. You see, it's a little bit deeper now. So, after that, this dark blood is basically my black paint. It's part of one part black paint and like 3 parts of this paint. And this is not paint, this is vampire blood. And all you're going to do is you're going to grab this, open it, and it looks black, like really dark. You grab the same brush that you used with the black, you're going to grab it, and you're going to put this paint inside the markings of the teeth, like dripping. So you're just going to put like a drop inside one, and then a drop inside another. And that's all you're going to do. You're just going to put it all inside the teeth marks. Ooh, I didn't grab any. Drip, 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 drip. Drip, 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 drip. See? That's what it looks like. Now, it still may not look too much as teeth marks yet. It will, trust me, it will. It'll start looking like teeth marks. This is how. What you're going to do is you're going to grab your fake blood. I usually rather use this since it's clear. What I just do is I just put it on top of a flat surface. And I just put that much of it. Since it's a very small area, I just put that much. And with the same brush that you used the bruising, you're going to drain all the liquid in it. Drain it all. It's okay if it's a little damp, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. And my brush is purple, but it's okay. You're going to get all that blood on there. And all you're going to do is just stipple it all over. Lady, just stipple it. And just put it all over. And it's basically how you did the water paints, but this time it's not too watery, so you'll be fine. Now if you're like me, and I always underestimate myself, and I always put too little, and the brush sucks up just a bit of it, so you kind of need to put a little bit more, that's okay. Don't worry. And just stipple around a bunch of blood. And like even put it in the middle of it. Just have fun with it until your heart feels happy with it. And then your brush is going to turn like that. And just put it back in the water. And then if you lose the darkness inside the teeth marks, that's fine. That's why you put black on the edges. So, now, that was cleared up. Just a bit. Not too much. You're going to I closed this. I don't know why I closed it. You're going to open this again. Grab just a little bit of it. Not like drizzling, like it's very little. You're just going to place just a little bit back in there. That's what it looks like now. Very infected, very fleshy, very gross. So yeah, there you go. So now you know how to make a bite mark. So have fun.